you are looking for a game that has a little bit of everything, man, was this the game for you. Do you like defensive hockey? This game had that. Do you like weird goals that need explanations? This game had that. Do you like non-goals that need weird, long, convoluted explanations? This had that. Do you like big saves? This game had that. Do you like overtime hockey? Who doesn't? 3-on-3, it's fun and stressful. This game had that too. As the Boston Bruins are in Madison Square Garden to play the New York Rangers, looking for more points as they have contributed and gone 7-0-1 in their last 8. That is right, points out of their last 8 games, 3-game winning streak for the Boston Bruins. Granted, all of those have required coming back from multiple goals or 1-goal deficits. So hopefully we can actually avoid that. That would be nice. So, can they keep this going? Can they keep the momentum going? Find out on this, the Bruins Recap Show. Boston Bruins. So we start things off in the first period, and for Boston, welcome back Matty Grzelcyk to the defense, and welcome back Jake DeBrusk back from injury. He gets to play on the third line with Anders Bjork and Charlie Coyle. Very fun and interesting line that. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Very defensive slog for the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers in the first period. I believe at one point, like with 5 minutes to go, there was a whopping 5 shots combined between the two teams. Just not much going on between the two. It's just the New York Rangers who would score first in the first period, as it is Julien Gauthier getting his first NHL goal of his career in his 24th NHL game, even though he has already played in 3 seasons. NHL is weird sometimes like that with how people will drop in and out of the majors and the minors. Anyway, it is a face-off scrum in the Boston defensive zone. Rooney getting the puck in after winning a battle with Trent Frederick, gets it behind the net. And Lemieux will win the puck battle with 3 different Boston Bruins people behind the goal line. Just a horrible defensive decision as Matt Grzelcyk is behind the blue line. Brandon Carlo is behind the Bruins goal line, as is Sean Kuraly. Nobody is guarding the front of the net. Chris Wagner, the only person anywhere close, but he gets beat by Julien Gauthier, who pops it in over the shoulder of Tuukka Rask, making it a 1-0 hockey game. Just an overall sluggish period from the Boston Bruins. They got a power play. They went with their 5-forward power play look to begin with. That didn't last very long, as the next couple of power plays, Matty Grzelcyk was on the first unit, and they just really didn't look all that good early on. 6-6 the shots in the first period. Boston needs to step it up significantly in the second, but hey, Boston is trailing by a goal, which means they got them right where they want them. We go to the second period, and about 8 minutes into that period, the Boston Bruins are on the penalty kill, and here comes Chris Kreider with a beautiful saucer pass to Mika Zibanejad, who has a wide open net, you think, but Tuukka Rask says, I don't think so! He makes a massive save on the power play on Mika Zibanejad, one of the best saves so far from Tuukka Rask this season. Tuukka Rask was outstanding, as he would later in the second period also rob again Mika Zibanejad, going blocker save. I believe that was shorthanded. I'm not 100% sure. Speaking of shorthanded, on the very same power play, it is Jakob Trouba passing it over to Artemi Panarin, who is attempting a pass, I want to say, to Chris Kreider. Either way, it is picked off by Chris Wagner, who is off to the races, beats Panarin to the net and wins the puck battle, scores on Alexander Georgiev, the Bulgarian brute, makes it a 1-1 game by the Mayor, short-handed. A much, much better period for the Boston Bruins here in the second, as they will take this game tied 1-1. So we go to the third period. About 5 minutes into the third period, it's Charlie Coyle over to Jake DeBrusk. Jake DeBrusk takes the shot. It hits the bar. the crossbar and just drops straight on the goal line. The play would be halted dead because the goal light would go on, but they would go to review it and say no goal. And if you told me goal, no goal, I would say you're right either way. Like, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Like, take a look at this overhead shot. Like, tell me, how can you tell if that goes in or not? That is just absolutely ridiculous. So, call on the ice, no goal. Call on the ice stands, no goal. That would not deter Jake DeBrusk, as a little bit later on, Kevin Miller, keeping the puck in the zone, sends it down behind the net to Jake DeBrusk. Anders Bjork getting a win on a foot battle. I believe Trouba either lost his balance or they, incidental contact between the two players. I know he complained about a trip, but he also had his stick across the body of Bjork. Either way, Bjork gets his way to the front of the net. A great pass from DeBrusk, and Anders Bjork goes 5-hole. The Boston Bruins have the lead 2-1. A little bit later on in the third period, though, this is completely weird. So this is going to take a little bit of an explanation, but it is a point shot by Lindgren. It's tipped by Brandon Lemieux. Tuukka Rask on the tip, and most of the Boston Bruins were saying that was played with a high stick, which you could argue it was, but this is why it does not matter, because after the high stick, it hits two Boston players, that being the back of Matt Grzelcyk and the mask of Tuukka Rask, before getting its way towards the ice and being tipped in by Kevin Rooney, which means that is unfortunately a good goal and a tying goal for the New York Rangers, and that play is unreviewable, but it was the right call on the ice because possession or the puck being touched by the opposing team on a high stick will not result in the play being stopped. That's just the way the NHL rules are written. And so, therefore, it is a good goal at that. We go 2-2 tie. End of the third period. More weirdness, as for whatever reason, Tuukka Rask either forgot the score, thought there was a power play, but with less than a minute to go, he starts heading towards the Boston bench as if they were going to get an extra attacker. I don't know, honestly, what Tuukka Rask was doing here. But all in all, because the puck doesn't cross the goal line on the mistake by Rask, because of Boston possession, we all have a good laugh about it, and we go to overtime with a 2-2 tie. In the overtime period, this might be the most exciting 36 seconds of action you have ever seen, as it's a face-off win. Boston gets possession. They start heading into the New York defensive zone. They get a shot opportunity, and with a diving save by Fox, the defenseman, I believe Adam Fox, correct me if I am wrong, but man, he might not have shown up on the score sheet, but Fox, being the overall best player, in my opinion, for the New York Rangers, was all over the ice. Blocking shots, beautiful, just great defensive work. Either way, he makes this outstanding defensive play, leads to a 2-on-1 opportunity, not to be outdone by his fellow United Statesman. Charlie McAvoy makes a beautiful play to break up the 2-on-1 opportunity by the New York Rangers, gets possession, sends it indirect to Brad Marchand, who is off to the races all alone on a breakaway. Alexander Georgiev has no chance as Brad Marchand pops it over the pad, and the Boston Bruins take this one 3-2, all about the bounces in overtime. What a win for the Boston Bruins here, as they improve to 9-1-2 on the season. Let's go quickly to the 3 stars of the game. Star number 3, with an assist, a non-goal call, and 7 shots on goal. Welcome back, Jake DeBrusk. I would love to see him play like this more often. Just a great effort by DeBrusk. Looked healthy, looked good. Star number 2 or star number 1, you can intertwine these two, or I'm actually reversing my decision. Star number 2 was going to be one person. Star number 2 is now Brad Marchand for the game winner. Star number 1, Tuukka Rask, 33 saves on 35 shots. Multiple big saves on Zibanejad, on Kreider. Just great saves overall, including that highway robbery in the second period on the power play of Mika Zibanejad. A hat pick for sure, if you will. So, the Boston Bruins getting points in their last 9 games. In those 9 games, they have gone 8-0-1. They're continuing a winning streak to 4 games now. And these two teams will play again on Friday. The Boston Bruins stay in first place in the East, just like we all predicted they would. So, Friday night, Bruins-Rangers will do it again, and hopefully it'll be as entertaining and maybe a little less weird than this game was. Find out on the next Bruins Recap Show.